That trip was very touching. It was a trip that, yes. And Ms. Blunt is actually right here from the city of East Orange. Her family's still here, and her roots are still here. And when I found out that she was going to be 100 years old that day, which this July, she'll be 101 years old. I just want to thank her family for just giving us the opportunity to really sit down with her. And it's a funny thing, when we're sitting down and talking at her table, this lady can remember everything about her experience with the battalion. And not only that, I said to her, I said, Miss Blunt, you're beautiful. She said, Mayor, it's the wig. And that alone sticks with me. But again, East Orange, we're doing everything we can to make sure we bridge that gap between the past and the present. And we want to thank the East Orange City Council. They was able to make sure they named the street after Mrs. Blunt right here on Overton. Give them a round of applause for that. And we just thank the family for really opening their arms and their doors for us to really honor an individual. And not only that, Tyler Perry is actually doing a movie on all those women that went over to France and Europe to participate in the battalion. And when that movie come out, let's show some love, East Orange, because we're going to be supporting one of our very own on a story about her. Give her another round of applause. Now, when we speak about the future, we have to acknowledge all of our young people here in the city of East Orange. You know, Frederick Douglass once said, it is easy to build a strong child than to rebuild a broken man. And that's true. But here in the city of East Orange, we are investing in our young people. We are making sure, when you think about scholarships for our young people across the board, right now, there's over $10 million in scholarships that has been awarded to our students throughout this district. That includes Amazon. Amazon gave our kids $160,000 in scholarship money. I'm very proud of the First Lady who runs the Ted R. Green Foundation, along with Vernon Pullins. We invested $40,000 in scholarships to our young people right here in the city of East Orange at all 3 high schools. We're proud of our young people. Just earlier you heard our choir came up here and sung. They just won a competition. Give them a round of applause. Our high school choir who just participated in the Gospel Jazz Fest last Saturday down at the Prudential Center. And not only that, they are going to be participate in Carnegie Hall. That speaks volumes of the young people that's doing great things here in the city of East Orange. We are exposing our young people to many people in our community. We just recently had our young people over at East Orange Campus High School. The New York Knicks came out and they did a basketball camp for our young people. That was a wonderful event over at Campus High School. But not only that, we're making sure that when it comes to our young people, we keep them involved. But I do want to say that when it comes to recreation in our community, our recreation department is second to none. I want to personally give Jamal Pearson and his staff a round of applause for what they do each and every day. We are the only city with a girls' flag football team, which is led by our very own Karina Kuhn. Give her a round of applause. And guess what? We're winning. Our city is winning. But however, even though we're winning here in the city of East Orange, we still have to make sure that we move forward. Just recently, we had some experiences and a few losses of some young people in our community. And during that time, when we lost these individuals, I thought that we was doing our best. I thought that we was able to engage young people into the activities in this city, and many of them were. But that wasn't enough. I looked around and I reached out to the superintendent. I reached out to Mr. Worley over at Campus High School. But more so, we had to address this problem that was going on in the city. So I reached out to a couple individuals who I believe I've raised in this city. Rodney, reached out to Nana, I reached out to Casey. Yes. And I asked these young people, and I said to them, I need your help. I said, because anytime that we have young people in our community who has this permissive about South Side, North Side, you can't go to Elmwood Park, I can't go to Raleigh Park, we have to stop this nonsense. Because East Orange is not a tale of two cities. We are one city. And let me just tell you, through that action, we met with young people. I've been saying this since I walked in the doors, that our young people have a voice. And I wanted young people to know that we have to listen to them also. Quite often say sometimes adults talk too much and not listening enough. So what we did, we had a group of young people that came down to the auditorium, and we had an opportunity to engage in what they want to do. And many of those young people just wanted us to reach out to them and share some ideas with them. And from that meeting, we started what we call Street Engagement Team. And let me just tell you this, not only did these young people step up and came committed, we now have a mentorship program. We now have a 5 days a week activities over at Fresh Starts, where young people who wouldn't even walk in the same room together, they're now playing basketball together. I cannot thank these individuals enough, and I want to give them a round of applause for their volunteering. They don't get paid to do this. And what we're seeing and what we're hearing, that our young people are now engaged with each other. Can I have the mayor's engagement team please stand up? Let's give them a round of applause. Come on, let's give them a round of applause. And all those young people over there who volunteer their time, they also have their own nonprofit organizations. But they are serious about making sure that we don't have another violent crime in our city. And it doesn't take away from our police department, but guess what? We all gotta work together to make this thing happen. So again, thank you very much to the mayor's street engagement team. Thank y'all guys. You know, as we move around the city, we are inviting people into our community. Just recently we had Saquon Barkley who came in and worked with us on our turkey drive. We also had Tim Thomas from the former New York Knicks who embarked on a basketball camp. Jabril Peppers have been solid with the East Orange, city of East Orange. Even though he don't play with the Giants anymore, Jabril Peppers have given us over $20,000 in money to help out with what we do here in the city of East Orange during the holiday season. Rasul Douglas, another individual right from the city of East Orange, stepping up and giving back. We are proud of Allen Houston, who recently came into the city and moved around our city and talked to our young people. So when you think about individuals like these superstars coming to East Orange, I quite often say people are watching us, East Orange, because people are saying, we're that city. So let's give all them a round of applause. I want to dive into very quickly to our parks right quick. Right? We talked about our parks earlier, but I want to make sure people understand the significance of open space and green space. I love my last name because green is always going to be here. But it's important because along with the East Orange City Council, and you'll hear me say that quite often because I want people to know that we work together. We're a team. And you got so many brilliant minds on that council that's making sure that all these things that you see developing in our city, we do it together. Because we know how important it is to make sure, as I said earlier, that we have all these amenities in our parks. You have Amy Lewis always talking about this pickleball. I didn't know what pickleball was, so she kept saying, we need pickleball. Guess what? We got pickleball now that's coming, right? We're making sure that the activities of the culture of people in our community, that everybody feels a part of this melting pot. Because East Orange is very known for his culture, for its history here in the city of East Orange. I quite often think about the parks around here. And I always want to ask a question to all of you, because this is a TED Talk. How many people in this room remember Billy Oliver? How many people remember Mr. Miles? How many of y'all remember Mr. Pitchford? How many of y'all remember Mr. Charles Smith? And why do I bring those names up? Because when I was a young man, and many of you in this room, all of us had an opportunity to go outside and be a part of staying healthy. Many of us who went home, we did our homework, and we wanted to go right outside. And our goal here in the city of East Orange, along with our recreation department and culture affairs, along with our DPW department, is make sure that our young people have those amenities. So again, we are so proud of all of the parks that's going up. So let's talk about our finances right quick. All those activities that we talked about tonight, and all of the redevelopment and all of the parks, it comes with a cost. And we know how important it is to make sure that during the last 6 years, that we remain financially and fiscally sound. And we did that. We did that as a team. We made sure that when it came to this budget, that we always reminded ourselves that we have to make sure that our residents come first. We rolled up our sleeves this year, and we made sure that we continue to do that. And it's never easy when we have to make these decisions. It's never easy to sit together and say, we gotta do this, we gotta cut this, but it's always so important when we come together as a unit that we always make sure that we keep our residents in mind. We are very grateful for our Standard Poor's long-term credit rating continues to be A+. A+. And that is something for a black and brown city to have. That means that we keep our house in check when it comes to our bonding. And that speaks volumes of who we are as a team in this city. Now, how do we achieve that? We achieve that because we are now, as administration and the council, we're focusing on ways to not only put a burden on our residents, but we're looking at how to find more grants. And when we find more grants and the money comes for those grants, it takes the burdens off our taxpaying people here in the city of East Orange. Give that a round of applause. Let's talk a moment about our small businesses here in the city of East Orange. When we talk about small businesses in our city, our small business has become the driving force in our community. One of my favorite quotes from our former president, President Obama, it said that small businesses are the backbone of our economics and our cornerstone of our communities. Yes, it is, especially here in the city of East Orange. All our small business, we can't thank you enough for wanting to not only be here, but in one of the troubling times in the city of East Orange, you stayed here. Give yourself a round of applause. You know, I quite often say that we love this city. And when you love this city, we're gonna ask you tonight to make sure you continue to shop local. Support our local stores here in the city because they need you. They need you, they need you. Now let's talk about what drives this city. Early tonight, I gave everybody a shout out. But I can't give everybody a shout out without giving our police department a round of applause. Let's give our police department a round of applause. Our police department was led by Maurice Boyd and our chief, Phyllis Bendy, has been stellar in this community. When you talk about redevelopment, and you talking about people wanting to move in our community, and you talk about when people move in our community, the first thing they think about, are we going to be safe? And I can tell you this, yes you are. Because East Orange is still leading the charge when it comes to crime reduction. Not only are we down 3%, but you think about it, last year we was down 79% in crime. Now we're down another 3%. So that means that we're over 80% down in crime, and that's because the men and women in blue over here work hard each and every day to keep our city safe. You can't thank them enough. You know, we talk about shooting incidents down 3%. You talk about overall crime, another 5%, maybe more than that. But we are proud of our police department. We're starting to hire another 35 new personnel in that department, including 7 new police officers and 15 crossing guards. And they don't stop there. East Orange Police Department has been engaged in our community. You see them out now, Mayor on the Block, but not only Mayor on the Block, they are having their own police meetings throughout the city. And you're gonna see more this summer when it comes to our summer initiative program. So let's give our police department another round of applause. But public safety in our community goes together. I wanna talk about our fire department now. Let's give our fire department a round of applause. Our fire department is led by our intern chief with Bruce Davis. They're doing a phenomenal job. But guess what? East Orange firefighters don't just put out fires. They are making waves around the city to prevent them also. Now, why are we so proud of our fire department? Because even other cities and surrounding towns, when they're having fires, not only are they joining us, but our fire department has been joining other cities and putting out fires. And what more people are proud of, we never want to have a fire. But I quite often hear people say, man, when the fire department came out, they didn't tear my house up, but they put the fire out, right? And that speaks volumes of their professionalism when it comes to those homes. And you know what? Because of what they do each and every day in this city, we wanted to make good to them. Now, after 90 years, that's how long it took. We are now building a state-of-the-art headquarters, fire department here in the city of East Orange Fire Department. We're remodeling all of the fire departments throughout the city. 2 temporary firehouses are going up to make sure that our firefighters have one to stay while we are renovating. We have 7 new fire trucks here in the city of East Orange, and our firefighters received over $62,000 in grant funding for upgrades, state-of-the-art, for fire safety equipment. Give them another round of applause. Because our heroes have made our safety their top priority, we're making their safety our top priority. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, you heard a lot. The TED Talk is almost at an end, right? But you heard a lot tonight. You had the opportunity, those who are on social media, those who are on Facebook, Instagram, we thank y'all so much. But all of you in this room heard me quite often say that we're one city, that we're one community, we have one goal, and we do. I gave you a story around a little girl that really intrigued me to even want to do more. You hear me quite often on Facebook and say that we don't talk about it, let's be about it. You hear me say that if you love your city, then be a part of your city. You quite often hear me say that we are one, let's do it together. You quite often hear me say all these antonyms, that we are East Orange and that we are EO, EO, EO. And we are. My goal as the mayor, I'm just hoping while I'm here, that all of us in this room believe that we can be the best city in this country. We can be that city where we go out around this world and you say East Orange and somebody say, y'all doing a good job. And we have been doing that. We have been doing that. But guess what? Even though all the great things we have done, we still got more to do. So I ask all of you, as we leave here tonight, join me in making East Orange that city. Join me in making sure that our young people understand that if they leave here, they have an opportunity to come back here and do what we do. We have a charge for everybody in this room tonight. And you know what we call it? A call to action. And a call to action is in our hearts. And some of you may get mad at me. Do you love this city? Do you love the people of this community? I quite often said earlier today when I asked God to give me the words to say and give me the wisdom. And you know what I'm pleased about? I am pleased if I go home today and God decided to call me, I think I did the best I can in this city. And I do love this city, and I love the people of this city. So tonight, I want to ask you for a few minutes to think about that little girl that's on that booklet. Think about if it was your daughter or your niece or your son. And they looked in your eyes and they said to you, Mom, Dad, Uncle, Auntie, Grandmother, Grandfather, do I have a future in this city? What would you say to that young person? What would you say to that young person? You know what? I know what I wanted to say to that young lady. And it's a strange thing, and Connie can tell you. We searched the whole city. And you know, I don't even know the young lady's name. But I do know this. God sent her and her mother and her father to us that day. Sent that young lady to me. And before I leave here tonight, I want all of you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes for a few minutes. And what I want you to do is imagine how great East Orange can be. And when you open your eyes, I'm going to show you this video. And this video is not is in stone where we approved anything. I just wanted folks to know how great these stones can be. Let's go to the video.